I started a blog, there really wasn't no other blog, so I didn't have a blueprint. I just said, hey, this is what I want to do. I'm prop my baby up on the pillow, put a little outfit on, and I'm take a couple pictures. She just looking cute and smiling, and I posted them, and people just started coming. Then when I started sharing what I was wearing, because at the time I think I was still breastfeeding, and I was like, yeah, I used a strapless bra, and that still kind of gets a lot of hits and stuff. I guess people are Googling strapless bra, and my post from like over 15 years ago is like still getting hits because I posted, and then people, oh, I like your outfits. Where's your dress from? And I didn't know that was a thing. And I'm like, Zara, you know? And so then I said, you know what, let me start showing my outfits. And when I did that, it just kept growing. Yeah. But when you put blinders on and just really focus on what you're good at and don't try to be like anybody else, just be you. That's really the main thing.
I'm not afraid to write a brand new story. And when changes find their way to me, I can keep it moving. I'm not afraid to celebrate my glory. And when challenges grace my path, I know I can face another day. Inside, I rise, daring to learn. With Fox After 40.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Fox After 40, where we focus on all things women's wellness. I'm your host, Kim Lewis, CEO and co-founder of CurlMix. And today, you guys, we have an excellent influence here, Trina Smalls. She's really incredible, been in the industry about 15 years. So before I get into her history and her story, I want to go ahead and give you a quick bio, okay? Trina Smalls, known online as Hey Trina, is a fashion and beauty influencer and marketing maven based in Atlanta, Georgia. Originally from Chicago, South. Shout out Chicago.
Chi-town.
She is the CEO of Supermom Culture and shares her insights on her blog, heytrina.com. Trina, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So Trina, tell me your background, because it's not actually an influencer. You've been an influencer for about 15 years, right?
Yes.
What did you, and Trina, you're over 40. Well, I don't know if you want to tell me your exact age. I won't do it like that. But it's...
Girl, we knocking on 50, but we gonna hold it down.
You look
hold
good.
it down. Thank
50's
you.
50's a new 30, okay?
I guess. I don't know if I want to say all that, but I feel good. I feel 30.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. Walk me through your history. And the reason I wanted to have this episode is because there might be some of my customers, my CurlMixers, who want to become fashion, beauty, and like makeup influencers, but they might be a bit nervous to do it after 40. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they might feel like, oh, well, that's for the young girls. And I'm like, well, there are so few influencers over 40, 50 that you really could make a big difference being in the game. You know?
Right.
So, but walk me through your history.
So I started, I have a marketing background. My corporate background was in logistics, supply chain, trucks and trains, mainly the only black person and the only black woman. And then when I had my kid, my first child, who is now 14, I had her. And when I had her, I wanted a space where I could share her cute little outfits and like what I bought for her. And I really didn't know what I was doing. And I would Google and find these like websites. I was like, oh, I'm going to start a website. I didn't know it was called a blog, but I ended up just starting a blog, and it was called Baby Shopaholic. So my old name was out there, was Baby Shopper. Everybody used to call me Baby Shopper. And so started the blog, and it just kind of took off from there. And then again, she's 14 now, a whole teenager in high school, which is crazy. And so a lot of people saw her grow up, and then it just evolved with our life. And so now we're here, got Supermom, still blogging, still influencing.
So walk me through the timeline. So you were in the trucking industry for how long?
Oh, man, I did that for 15 years.
So when did you wrap it?
So when I wrapped it, so I was still in logistics when I had my first child. So she was around 2 or something, and my blog was taking off. The Baby Shopaholic blog was taking off. So I was getting flued out. I was getting flued out.
I love it. I was getting flued out.
I was getting flued out back in the day before people was really getting flued out, because I used to think it was a joke. I'd be like, you want me to come where?
And what year is this?
This was, let's see, Lord Jesus, what year was my daughter born? She was born in 2010, so she'd be 15. So this was about maybe 2012-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2012-ish, I'm sitting at work and stuff. Then I was getting magazine features like in Atlanta. I was in Jet Magazine.
And this is all for like the Baby Shopper stuff.
Yeah, it's just me posting out there because I think when I started the blog, there wasn't a blog like mine that there was mom blogs, but they didn't look like us.
Yeah. And
so I basically was that mom that Black moms could relate to, Yeah. I was still working. So it was like basically my blog obligations started competing with my job, which is crazy. Like I didn't know. This was before influencers was a thing. Influencer is a new term that just came up like maybe 5 years ago or something. Okay. So influencer it was just blogger. You're a mom blogger. But I said, no, I'm a mom fashion blogger. That's actually what I coined myself as, the mom fashion or style blogger. And so it just was like, I had to take off work. It was like McDonald's called. They wanted me to do a commercial or a video. And I'm like sitting there at my desk like, I want to do this. But I had vacation time, so I would take off. Then it was like, where are you? Where are you going? Well, you need days off in the middle of the week and stuff like that. I'm like, look, mind your business before I go to HR. Like, stop. So that just became like a battle. And then my now ex, again, everybody's been on this journey with me. Hey. But so now it was like kind of like, okay, do I let the blog go? My job was very demanding. Again, I'm dealing with trucks and trains. So my job was demanding. And then the blog started getting demanding. Of course, I like the blog more because I was able to do my fashion thing. It was like my outlet from the logistics world that I was in. So I was able to kind of do both, but I was like almost depressed if I had to let the blog go. I'm sitting at work and then a magazine comes out and then like one of my managers comes out and was like, hey, I just saw you in Atlanta magazine. I'm like, oh, you sure it was me? Like,
no, you didn't.
I'm trying to play.
That was another one.
Because I didn't do nothing at work. I ain't say nothing. I ain't tell people like, hey, I started a blog. Everybody follow me. I ain't say nothing. I just walked in. People was like, girl, I follow your blog. Like if new people came in, we had like a call center section and people were like, I follow you. Oh my God, I can't believe you work here. I'm like, don't tell nobody. Don't talk.
I love it. And I think that's so smart. People think that they want to get into like a full-time creator roles or influencer roles and they feel like they have to quit their work. Yeah. And you're like, no, the best thing to do is to kind of keep both as long as you can.
Yeah. And that's one thing that I will tell other moms out there. First of all, in this climate, keep your job, okay? Stack, get all the paper you can. And then until you can't anymore and you're like really like going for it and like, triple or doubling your income, keep your job. You're going to have to tighten up. You might can't hang out as much. You might have to pull back on some of the things. You might have to stay up late. Because when I started blogging, I had one child at the time. I would put her to bed at 8, and then I would work on my blog from 8 to like 11 or 12. It just depends on if I hit like a little stride or something. And I would do my editing. I would write my blog posts. I would get all my content on Sundays. So that's a tip. Like just do a content day. You know, I mean, that's probably similar to what you're kind of doing. Like, just get it all done. Right. And then you have it. Batching so now you got to, batch it up, batch that content. Stay up late, carve out, or get up early. That's like the new hack too. Right. But then it's like, okay, now I'm down to like 4 hours. I'll be looking at my Fitbit. They'd be like, you got 4 hours of sleep last night. I'm like, of course I did. But,
right.
We'll
okay, we can't do that. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So then you were doing Baby Shopper. Mm-hmm. And then when did you transition to Supermom? Well, when did you leave the corporate job or your logistics job? If you've enjoyed this episode of Fox After 40 and want to get notified about the next episode when it drops, make sure to go to CurlMix.com and sign up for our mailing list. We'll notify you whenever a new episode comes out.
So I left the logistics job about 10 years ago because my youngest is 9 now. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I quit and then found out I was pregnant. So I was like, oh, look at that.
How long was the overlap of you doing Baby Shopper and the logistics job? It's like it was a long time.
Yeah, I feel like about 4 years maybe. At least 4 years. Dope. Yeah, it was like 4 years. Like I was grinding. I was blogging for probably almost 3 years before I even got one check. And the first check, like, you remember Glam Media?
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe.
It was like one of the first, like, and that was like where everybody was clamoring to get on. Like, it was like the agency that represented bloggers and they would give you work. Girl, $200. You couldn't tell me nothing. I got paid $200 for my first campaign. I was like, oh, snap, it's on now.
What year was that?
This was probably, around 2012, 2013, maybe.
Okay, that was right around when I started like my niche social network for natural hair, like the Natural Hair Academy. I got $200 from Onyx Beauty, I think, at the time to like run ads on our website.
I remember you in the circles and stuff, and then you had the ingredients and everybody.
Oh wow, Trina, that's crazy.
I've been around, okay.
Oh my God, talk about OG.
Talk
about
OGs for real.
Oh my gosh, she said I got $200 for my blog. So but you blog for 3 years. The thing I want people to know is that like Instagram is a new blog.
It is, but I will say this. You got to own your name. You still have to have a place, because you see how they shut down TikTok and all the influencers were crying. They don't even have a website. Get a website. You need to have a website. Have your own .com. Buy up the domains. Have your own .com, even if it's just a one page. Now it's a lot of stuff you could do yourself or hire somebody to put you a little page up there. And Linktree is not a blog. Linktree technically steals your traffic because they're clicking there first. So create your own Linktree. That's a little tip that I tell people to do, because they're losing traffic because everybody's going to Linktree, and now they hit that first. What if they don't pass that? Yeah. So they never make it to your site.
That's a good tip.
You're going to my site first.
Right.
Period.
Right.
So that's one thing that I did. Pause. What was the rest of the question I told you?
Oh, no, you're good. We were talking about Baby Shoppa, the overlap with logistics. Yeah. And then we're going to go to like when you left the logistics company. And then were you still doing Baby Shoppa when you left, or had you switched to Supermom Culture? When did that come?
No. So
and when Supermom is like your big brand. So yes,
it's a like a brand brand.
Yeah,
like,
a fashion brand. Okay.
So when I quit my job, I just went straight blogger. Like, I was the mom style blogger. I was getting booked. I was able to charge more. I had a new baby, so the brands were like really kind of coming at me. We were just doing a whole lot of things. I started partnering with Disney. I started partnering with Target, did some Walmart and all that other stuff. I know we canceled Target now, but you know,
for now,
you already know. Okay. So I was really just blogging. And then as I was blogging, I knew I wanted to switch my name, but I still had a baby. So I was like, oh, we'll keep Baby Shopaholic. So I'm the type of person, I run into the ground till I can't use it no more. Because, like all the people, like, they just want to rebrand. Like, if that's what people know you as, just keep riding it out till you feel like you done hit a wall, you know? Mm-hmm. As my kids got older and things like that. So I kind of rebranded Baby Shopaholic and started Supermom kind of at the same time. I be doing the most. So I wanted something that was more like, I didn't want to have the kids like be more the forefront, because Baby Shopaholic was like the kids first, which that is very draining. Yeah. So it was the same content, but kind of pulled back on the kids. It wasn't weekly outfits of the kids and things like that, because one thing I didn't want to do was force them to do something they didn't want to do. Right. They was having a bad day, or they didn't want to take pictures and stuff, because that is a disaster if you've ever done photos with a child, That doesn't want to do a photo. If they're not into it. Now, my oldest, she was here for it. She get in line. But my youngest, she was, little thug missus, so she wasn't really here for it.
Thug missus.
Listen, I always say, you from the South Side, girl, because I don't know where you. She says that too. I'm like, girl, actually, you're from Atlanta, so right. But but that's how she was acting. She just come in and just tear everything up. So I was like, we're not gonna do as many photo shoots. So we still kept that up, and so
where'd you get the idea for Supermom?
So Supermom came. I wanted something that would inspire and celebrate moms. I just knew that. I didn't know what product it was. I actually want to stay away from clothing because I didn't want to deal with the sizes. I didn't want to deal with all the nightmares. Then I was like, I'm going to do coffee cups. And then people are talking about how the mugs break. Okay, no. Then I did aprons. Right. And so I did aprons. I sold them quite a bit, but, it wasn't my thing. Again, I'll keep pivoting until I get it right. That's just kind of how I roll. And then I did these little shopping totes. Those did very well. So I did those. And then it was like the T-shirts just kept pulling me. I'm like, oh. And then I was like, I wanted something that was comfy, cute, and like that's kind of represented me. I love hip hop, and I like nice casual loose clothes and things like that. So I was like, I want to do a streetwear brand for moms. So I started doing my little research and stuff, and I really like, so if you look at Supermom, it does give you like that Supreme vibe, which is like kind of what, because I'm like, you know what, I'm going to bring all the moms together. Like, just like they rally behind like a brand, that's what I wanted Supermom to be. Yeah. And I was just really flying by the seat of my pants. I printed out a Supermom and the size. I bought a few T-shirts, and I was just laying them on there, getting the size right how I wanted to be in a position.
Oh, so you made all those T-shirts?
I started out making them with a heat press, girl. I was strong. The girl was up in there getting it in.
I love it.
So
I love it.
That's how I started. And yeah, I just took a chance, bought me a little heat press.
And what year was that?
2019.
How did you get traction on it?
You know what? I think because I had the blog.
I knew about Supermom before you.
Oh,
so
okay.
I didn't really know who you were. Maybe in like the last like year and a half or so.
Yeah.
But like I knew about Supermom before.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, a while ago. But I'm like, I can't remember where I saw it or how I saw it. I just remember, I'm like, oh, this looks cool.
Oh,
you know?
It was wild. Like, when I tell you, I felt like I was like running after a train, like holding on to the back, like trying to catch, because that's how it kind of took off. So I just put the shirts out there. It wasn't even called Supermom. It was Trina's Supermom shirts. That's what everybody said. Because I didn't even have a website for it. I put it on my blog. I put a little page on my blog. Now at this time, I've rebranded to Hey Trina.
How big is your list at this time?
My email list for my blog? I would say probably about like 7,000 subscribers. But to tell you the truth, I don't know where people, because, you know, they started changing up, like the Google Reader was gone. So I don't even know how many. I think I found a feed burner and it had like 7,000. So I had a decent list. But I was still blogging on the regular. I was like, hey, I made these shirts. If you want one, you know, and I put just like a little plug-in, little blog button. It's like, click here, and then you buy it. It was just one shirt, white tee, Supermom, and that was it. So those started selling, and I was like, oh, okay, I got my first, you know, and then it would be like, okay, now we got 5, then we had 10, then we had 20. When I had 20, I was like, oh my God, like, you know, and this is like, we're talking like weeks, so it wasn't like, it was like I sold 1,000 in one day. You know how people get on there crying like, oh my God, I made $1 million in one day. That was not me. Like that, it didn't happen like that. Like I was buying one shirt, then buying 2 more shirts. Sold those 2 shirts, bought 4 more shirts. Like I really scaled up because I didn't have the money like that. I was a stay-at-home mom. My ex at the time told me to bootstrap, and I did. But anyway, that's a little. But anyway, so that's how I started. I just kind of just kept leveling it up. I just kept flipping it up. You know, I got a couple dollars back. I put it back in. And then it was like, dang, now this is kind of taking off. When I started getting about 100 shirts a month, I was like, yeah, I guess it probably needs its own website. So I was like, what should I call it? And then I was like, oh, I wanted to put black in it. I wanted to be Black Supermoms. And I wanted to be this. I want to be that. And then I'm like, you know what? This is going to be a whole movement. Yeah. And then I don't even know where it was like Supermom Culture. I don't overthink stuff. I'm a Libra. They say we overthink, but actually I really don't. I'm like, that sounds good. Let's go with it.
Let's go with it.
And so, and that's just kind of where how Supermom started. And then now during the pandemic, so I started in 2019. Early 2019, I lost my mom in April 2019.
Sorry.
And then when I came, thank you. And when I came back from that, I think, you know, just to show love and support, people were buying the shirts. And I really appreciated that, and I needed that. And so then the next year was the pandemic. And so when the pandemic hit, you remember that video that was viral, don't touch, and everybody was handing the thing. Yeah, you was handing brushes or the hair product. You know what I'm saying? We was going over there, you know, doing all that on the camera. So
I participated, and I didn't even post on social back then. That's how you know. I was like, okay, I guess I'll do. I did a whole month later. Girl, you late.
A month later, yeah.
Girl, I'm late on the trend. Okay,
man, I feel like people still doing it. But so I did that. I got a couple other moms together. And we all, and everybody just got in. We all in the house and stuff, so we all did it. And everybody at the end, everybody had on their Supermom shirts. That went crazy viral, like, because everybody posted it. So I had like 10 moms, and some of them have, you know, 100,000s of followers, and, you know, just all over the place. And everybody posted it, and then it just took off, and then it was like, psh, they were flying out the door, and I was like, oh my gosh.
If you've gotten any value from listening to Fox After 40, you learned a beauty tip, you've gotten advice, you shared the episode with a friend, please do us a favor and leave us a review on Spotify and Apple. It goes a very long way in helping us continue to build the podcast. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next episode. Were you still making all of them yourself?
Yes.
Ooh, were you behind on orders?
No, because I was crazy. I was just like, I do the content, and then when I put them kids to sleep, I was in there. I told you I was strong.
How many shirts were you making like a day?
Oh my gosh! Like I had got up to, on a low day it was like 25 up to like 100. So I had it down. So as of course, more practice makes perfect. I started getting them faster. So my thing was like, if I could do 2 shirts in a minute. So I did all the math, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had it down. I was like, I can knock, 100 shirts out in a couple hours.
And so at this point, this is all you're doing, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
This is all I'm doing outside of my influencer, my blog work. So I still was getting campaigns too.
Ah, very nice.
So I was still getting campaigns, and then I had the shirts coming in, and I just kept up with it all. Everybody was in the house, and their dad was there, so I had a little more help than I normally would have. So that kind of worked out. I didn't have to do the carpool thing and running back and forth. All the activities were canceled, so that really actually freed up my time. So I was just able to be a workhorse.
And this was able to be your full-time gig, so it was able to financially support you, what you need to live and things like that?
Yeah, so I was making enough money, just even before that, just influencing, because at this point, when the pandemic hit, I had been home about a stay-at-home mom for about 4 or 5 years at that point. Yeah, because my youngest is 2015, so she'll be 10 this year. So I quit right before I had her. Okay. So yeah.
This is good. How many kids do you have, Trina?
2 girls.
Gotcha. Any tips for moms who want to be entrepreneurs out there? My kids are, younger or maybe teenage, and I want to start a business, but I'm not really sure if this is for me. How are you, and I hate the balance question, right? But because it's Supermom, I'm asking about the family balance and the business stuff.
You know what? I think, because, we always talk about balance, but it's really not even balance at this point. For me, it's more like prioritizing my list. So I kind of focus on that versus balance, because everything doesn't need my attention all at the same time. Right. You know what I mean? And especially now that my kids are older. So like I said, I was strict on schedules, not crazy strict, but putting them to bed. I don't play about the bedtime, because I'm like, that's when mommy gets off the clock. That's when my shift is over. So, I'm like, and now I got a teen that be prowling around the house and, munching and doing things all times of the night. And I be like, you can't talk to me after 10. I gave her till 10 if she want to come talk, and we have a little girls' time. But after that, I'm like, I am off the clock. I am doing whatever I got to do. I love it.
You're giving me some advice, because my kids be up till midnight. I be like, it's probably time for bed.
Girl, put them kids to sleep, because that brings reason. Just think, if you get them down at 8 and you don't only go to bed, that's 4 hours.
Yeah, it is.
Of peace. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. You get a lot done.
I get a lot done. So that's been my strategy. So yeah, I just prioritize what I need to do. Sometimes there's a season where you really have to focus on your kids. We got 3rd grade math right now. Girl, 3rd grade math ain't no punk. So I'm going through it. She going through it. We both crying. So that's my focus right now. Is
2 plus 2 is 4.
Listen, they do not. Let me tell you. Sometimes I be like, girl, what did you read? Where'd you pull that number for? She is so funny. My youngest is funny, because I'll be like, now what? She'll get the answer, and then she'll just be like, maybe 5. I'll be like, maybe. This is math, girl. You gotta. No, that's not how you do it. You gotta do it for. 6. She's just doing it like that. I was like, Lord Jesus. Oh, call the folks. Lord.
Wink at me. Wink one time if it's right. If it's wrong.
Please. Sometimes can I just take the test for her? Because I can't do this no more. But
that's so funny.
So that's where I'm putting my energy at right now. So just kind of getting them through this transition, because we've been through a lot. I'll be divorced almost 3 years this summer. Okay. And so that's been a transition. So we're just really kind of finding our new life and still kind of working those kinks out.
And so are you all in on Supermom right now, or is there something else that you're working on?
Girl, I am all over the place, because number one, so I still have Supermom. Supermom is still thriving. We're limping, but we're still here.
It's a different market, different economy.
Yeah, it's a different economy right now. It wasn't like it used to be. Still do the influencer thing. I get little gigs here and there. It's not as much as it was. And I also do a little consulting on the side. You know, people want help with content or social media. So I kind of do that to supplement because I'm a single mom now. So I got to supplement my income because we're like low key kind of living the same lifestyle, but it's just me.
Mm-hmm.
That's an entrepreneur too. It's crazy. It's wild.
I feel that.
Look, don't be like me, but just to let you know, you will be okay because it is wild being an entrepreneur. Yeah, and being single and out here and your kids have to that's just a whole nother thing. So if you're scared and you got a job and a partner, just go for it because you got everything in play. Like I'm sitting here like, Lord, what am I doing? Because it's like the bills is due. They keep coming. I was like, I didn't know the stuff was this high.
You know, but it's okay also to get a bridge job, right? Like if you need to get something on the side while you're still running Supermom and doing all these other things, then like it's totally an option.
Oh, girl, trust me. I've been looking for jobs if something come up, but because I have that gap, like you think it would be a benefit that I ran businesses. I made it on The View and Good Morning America and Oprah Daily and things like that. So I've done all these amazing things that these other companies have not done. Yeah. But it's still like hard to get a job. Well, do you know how to use SAP? Like, man, you talking about SAP? I done built a whole little empire.
Exactly.
You asking me about some technical stuff. Yeah, I can
click
do that.
some green, yellow, and red buttons.
Exactly. I'm like, I got this. Like, just give me the job, you know. So it's been a challenge because I am looking for, I'm open to it if something comes up. But like right now, I'm just more consulting, doing some marketing, turn on my marketing brain. Gotcha. And like pulling that stuff back out and helping other smaller businesses as well.
How are you seeing influencers pivot, right now? And is there any advice you have to someone who wants to kind of get into the influencer game right now?
Well, the influencer game, I think pivot, because I know you've seen it, I'm sure, with the hair. Like, everybody was hair. And now all the hair people are they're doing something else now. Or they're consulting, or they're working for a brand, or creating content, or they're stylists now, and different things like that. So yeah, and pivoting is okay. I'm not against it. I mean, I've definitely pivot. So pivoting for me was more like, still being influential. And then what I would tell, I got all over the place, so put a pause in there. But so I would tell another mom that's interested in becoming an influencer, I would just say, just start. Just start where you are. You don't have to be perfect. Sometimes I feel like you got to put blinders on to do your thing. Because if you look at over here and this person got this dark, moody room, like this beautiful kitchen and stuff, and then you feel like, oh, I can't do that until I buy a mansion. I can't be an influencer. Like, right. Yes, you can. You know what I mean? There's so many ways. Girl, just get you a little tray or a slab and put your stuff on there and take your pictures and do your thing. Clean out a corner of your closet or living room and film right there, because everybody, when they show that little mess on the side, that's just how it is. Exactly. Because y'all don't know what's in front of the cameras, you know what I mean? Like the stuff you don't see. So I would just tell, just start where you are, put blinders on. I really think that's the thing, because that's something that I did when I started a blog. There really wasn't no other blog, so I didn't have a blueprint. I just said, hey, this is what I want to do. I'm prop my baby up on the pillow, put a little outfit on, and I'm take a couple of pictures. She's just looking cute and smiling, and I posted them, and people just started coming. Then when I started sharing what I was wearing, because at the time I think I was still breastfeeding, and I was like, yeah, I used a strapless bra, and that still kind of gets a lot of hits and stuff. I guess people are Googling strapless bra, and my post from like over 15 years ago was like still getting hits because I posted, and then people, oh, I like your outfits. Where's your dress from? And I didn't know that was a thing. And I'm like, Zara, And so then I said, let me start showing my outfits. And when I did that, it just kept growing. Yeah. But when you put blinders on and just really focus on what you're good at, and don't try to be like anybody else. Just be you. That's really the main thing. The best advice. I agree. Yeah. One of my coaches told me the exact same thing. I would look at other hair care brands, like, oh, well, they're doing this and they're doing that. It's like, I started a ghost account where I could follow. She said, delete it. Nope. Don't look at it. Do you. You don't know what's going on behind those people's stories, their businesses, their everything. So stop comparing yourself. Yeah. I mean, there's a time where you could take a little inspiration and stuff. Definitely don't copy, but you see too many people, because if you look at like the white mom bloggers, they're all like rinse and repeat. Like they all got the same thing. Everybody got the beige house. They all doing this. I mean, you got the beige house, the beige babies, the beige house, the beige everything, the beige bags. the beige Uggs. You know what I'm saying?
You're so funny. Oh my gosh.
Let me stop because this climate right now. Don't because I go.
You try to get me in trouble.
No, you can take that. But yeah, but no, seriously, they it's like a rinse and repeat. Even with the blog, remember everybody had the bobbleneck. Everybody was dressed the same.
Yeah. And it's like, how do you be different? You be the first, be the only, or be different.
Yeah, and I mean, and even since I started Supermom, there's somebody out there that is like waiting for me to drop designs, and within 30 days they got the same thing.
Exactly. Oh.
And I just be looking like, girl. And of course, people send it to me. I be like, girl, just let her do
the
her
copycats.
thing.
They're I can't stand
like,
it.
Girl, you ain't got no nothing, like all the way down to the styling. I was like, golly.
I got a few copycat brands out there with me. I'm like, okay,
exactly,
okay, girl.
Exactly. But but you got to but people see it, and that's like that doesn't build trust with your audience. Like you can do whatever, but like you already planting that seed is like shady, because if somebody knows Supermom and then they see you.
No, they're not going to buy from you.
Yeah, they're going to look at you sideways like, oh, yeah, she tried to copy her. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So. Trina, thank you so much for coming on the pod. We appreciate you.
Thank you. And
thank you guys for listening to Fox After 40. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and leave any questions you might have for Trina about becoming an influencer after 40. And if you're interested in curly hair care products, check out our website, CurlMix.com. It's the sponsor of this podcast, and we would love to help you with your hair.